Sunday. So war is not human. Okay, it's not. It's alien. But humans, it's the manifestation of something that we're not seeing with the naked eye that is causing war. So we all know what's going on around the world with our country, and we still believe there's a lot of people still believe that it's because of the oil, the resources that countries and military and human beings go to war with each other. And absolutely, that's the biggest lie ever. Right? Just like it's the biggest lie ever that there's one God. Right? That's what's. This is a result of more than one God. Right? One God will not be triggering war within its own kingdom. Right? The reason we're going with against each other is a result of more than one God. Right? And as absurd and ridiculous as it sounds, say Ray, hi. As ridiculous and absurd as it sounds, if you put a little bit of personal thought and just take a very educated guess, why people and countries go to war with another countries, right? And I know it sounds obvious because of money, because of oil, garbage. There's something going on that we cannot see with a naked eye, right? Some people call it conspiracy theories, right? Some people call it classified information. And all this is just the result of many gods that they are using our politicians, us, military, anybody, as puppets. Right? I said it before, we heard it from people, and it just gets tired of everybody is kind of like in panic mode. What's going to happen? And we have to stop for a second, guys. We need to stop for a second, breathe, and say, okay, panicking, making judgments, pointing our finger over there, is just going to make people more confused, right? We have to make an introspection and say, what is really war? Who starts wars, right? Oh, United States starts wars. Oh, the Islam countries start war. Middle East people start war. The terrorists. No, that's the result of something that we're not seeing with a naked eye, right? And yeah, I have to say it. It's aliens, and there's gods that influence human beings to start their little dirty war, right? Just as we as people are different, there are different kind of gods. It's the biggest lie that there's only one God. A lie. Mm-mm, there isn't. One God cannot go to war with itself. It has to go to war with another entity, with another God. Okay. And this is not some science fiction garbage sci-fi. This is reality, guys. All right. You guys have to do your homework, research, and talk to people who've been in the military, people who look kind of crazy that they know stuff, and people who have been incarcerated to leak information they were not supposed to leak in the first place, right? But yes, it's sad. Of course, it's sad because a lot of people are dying, right? We have loved ones in the military, we have loved ones overseas who are fighting for this flag, right? Or for what this flag stands for, right? And for another countries. And it gets a time that you will get sick and tired of lies and say, no, 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 no. This is more than fighting for oil and power and all that. That's just the political answer. All right. That's the narrative that the media and the politicians and religion leaders will always have. But that's not it. That's not it. Right. You would be very ignorant and foolish if you think there's only one God. The result of all of this war is because there are multiple gods. Okay. They are influencing humans to go to war with each other because these aliens, these gods, right? They don't feed out of food like us, right? Like broccoli, apples, meat, chicken. They don't, right? There has to be blood. They feed out of the blood. It's energy, right? They have to go to war with each other because they have different technologies. They have different uh, agendas, right? In another realms. And I know it sounds very very bizarre and like no this is just crazy. No, it is, right? All this garbage is just human nature to fight. No, we could go back in time and study the Vikings, study the Persians. Everybody believes that if they die they will go either to a place that's going to be more wonderful than this one. So this is the agenda of gods placing in people's mind. Okay, this is where we have wars. All this oil and money and power is just a superficial information that it is true, but absolutely like 30%. There's 70% that we're missing, and this is why we need to understand that we cannot hate other countries, other people because of their beliefs. We need to stop hating other people's cultures. We need to start questioning our gods, okay? Because these are the ones who are responsible for all this fucked up war going on. It's the gods that are playing and that we're being the puppets of this people, right? Next time you want to pray and be on your knees, question if this really sounds logical and sounds healthy to be on your knees praying to something. That's not healthy, man. That's not God. That's not love. That's not love. Mm-mm. It's not until we understand and we have to stand up for each other. And instead of pointing our fingers to another human being, we have to start pointing the finger up there, right? The real responsible, if we can call it people, entities who are causing all these wars with each other, right? That's what it is. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. There's nothing else. It's not it's not humans that want to go to war. They're influenced by something all the time. They're influenced by something all the time, right? All this nonsense about going to war because I need oil, I need money. No, no. It's an agreement that certain countries have with these aliens. And these aliens, all right, they traded technology, traded information, but they made an agreement that these countries they have to go to war. Okay, and if there's nothing going on, you have to start a war. You have to start a phony, bogus war, right? Because blood, it's very appreciated to these aliens. It's very essential and indispensable for their survival, right? That's what it is, right? It's not like us that we eat chicken, beef, lamb, vegetables. They don't eat that, right? Their food is energy, blood, right? And when it hits the ground, they absorb it in another realm. And it sounds fucked up, but this is what it is. That's why all this misdirection about hating people, hating other nationalities, no, that's what they want. And this is, I'm going to make a story. When I was incarcerated, the captain, the warden, they always want to keep inmates fighting with each other, all right? To fight each other, hate another gang with another gang, a race with another race. Once you have green light to hit cops or hit the staff, the captain, then they don't like it because now all the inmates are together. Okay, and this is the same thing but in a bigger scale, right? They want all the human beings, everybody segregated so they can fight each other. Huh? And the real responsible people who have to be accountable are these entities that people are praying to, right? That's why religion, it's the most disgusting, absurd thing to follow or to rely to have a healthy life, a healthy mental stability. Okay. Religion brings more damage than good. I have family members who ask me, so what are you teaching your children? Definitely not to be on their knees. Definitely not begging for nothing. That's what I teach in my children. I'm teaching my children to think on their own. And when they ask me, Dad, who is God? Hmm, my response is, I don't know. Hmm, I can listen to people that they have their own description and their own conclusions, like they've met him before in person. I haven't, son or daughter, right? But you're responsible to go and get your own answers. This is when we create healthy people and strong character human beings, right? Not tell them to be on their knees and praying to something. Hell no, man. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We create strong human beings by telling them, okay, that anybody or anything that wants you to put on your knees is a disgusting being. You need to walk away from that. Period. Mm. So yeah, going back to war, it's a disgusting thing, but it's here and it happens. But I wanted to talk tonight about what can we do, Alex, right? What can we do to not fall for this claws, invisible claw that is dragging everybody to fight with each other and just extinct human beings, right? Well, you need to understand that a lot of aliens, right, is just like us. They look different from each other. They have different talents. They offer different things, right, to different people around the world. And because Earth, it's a place where you can be physical. Sometimes they're jealous, right? Because these aliens come and kind of like invisible, but for them to survive, they need blood. Okay, they need blood because this is how they can survive and still be alive, right? And keep their agenda. So war is not about hate; it's a survival thing for the gods. Okay, we see it in the Bible, right? We see it in the Bible. We even see it in the New Testament when Jesus Christ was crucified and there was blood. That's why you read the Bible, say like, for the blood of Jesus Christ, he paid a price. No, no, there's no price. It's blood. It's blood. This God is thirsty for blood. Okay? And that's the truth. There's no confusion. There's no a formula how to figure this out. You just need to stop giving your energy to gods. Okay? I think there's a movie. I can't remember, I think it's humans against gods, right? They're telling you something there. If there's a time that we have to look at each other, our races, every race, every country. We have to look at each other, and instead of fighting each other, we have to look up. Who's making us fight against each other? And this will be the turning point for these gods to start losing power. Okay, and they will, because their only power is influencing human beings to be on their knees and go around the world and kill people for a holy agenda. Okay, so they have to make an excuse that they are terrorists or they are Christians or whatever religion it is. But it's always the agenda of these aliens to make human beings fight with each other. It's bottom line. Bottom line, right? I'm getting sick and tired of that war is a human nature thing. No, we have our DNA. We have alien DNA. That's why you see kids, they're like 2, 3 years old, and nobody taught them how to be aggressive, and they're aggressive, right? Because we all have alien DNA. If you want to be technical, we all have alien DNA, right? Some people more, some people less, but we all have alien DNA. We didn't come here just from a big bang. No, we are the result of a alien sperm, okay? And then here we are. And they come here and check on us, but other aliens, they just like to make trouble, right? That's how they survive. So there's a saying, whatever, there's a law. What's above, it's below. So that's telling you guys, if there's war going on in the physical realm, so there's a war going on in the non-physical realm, right? And I know the Christians are gonna say, yeah, it's in the Bible. We have a warfare. It's not physical but spiritual. Yeah, but that's vague. They're not telling you exactly what it is, right? It's not. That's why I believe, in my opinion, that how to protect ourselves from war is just to be aware that these people sometimes they don't know what they're fighting for. They're just weak-minded, weak on character, and they get influenced by these entities, right? But these energies that are around us, that they talk to you instead of you talking to yourself, right? Because remember, we have their DNA, so we don't need to praise them. We don't need to worship them. This is when we start losing our own authority on a daily basis, and this is when it creates confusion instead of clarity. Alien, they're real. The government knows it, and the number one tactic that they have is technology. Okay, so United States, Russia, Israel. There's a lot of nations that possess technology, laser technology, laser technology. They're not going to displace it. They're not going to show it because then it's going to be obvious that people are going to know. It's not. It's not. I did time with a lot of people who were in the military, and they were very scared, but for some reason they will say a lot of things that I was like, man, that's very fucked up, you know. But that's the truth, and I'm not here to hate or love nobody. I'm just here to share my story of what I've seen, the people that I met in the government when I was incarcerated, in the military, people around the world who were leaking information, right? There were ex-CIA working the Blackwater, this private military mercenaries. So there's a lot of information that it's talked about because everybody is locked up. So sometimes talking about small talks, it doesn't make the day. People talk about real stuff that they have done, seen in the governments around the world, and this is what I've got my knowledge, and they have proved it. They proved it, and sometimes I just shake my head. I'm like, unbelievable, unbelievable. I wish my dad, my father, my grandfather knew all this stuff, but they didn't, right? They was just, living their lives. And but yeah, at the end of the day, somebody needs to break that curse. Somebody needs to break that ignorant chain. They just creates ripple effect of foolish, ignorant people, right? And yeah, people might criticize. So why do we have this still this flag? Okay, well, I there has to be a place where you can start, right? This is the country I was born and raised, and it doesn't mean I agree with everything. You know, doesn't mean that. And at the end of the day, I think that we can make a difference when you know the truth that you don't need exterior power. Okay, these aliens, these gods, they feed out of people's ignorance, and it's fear, right? That's why they have it in the Bible. You have to fear God. Oh my God, it's absolutely nonsense. You don't want your children to fear you. Huh? This is the perfect example. If you have children, if you have your little kid, you're not gonna, you don't want him to fear you. That's not healthy for his growth. That's not even human. Okay. So the good thing about religion, the holy books, is within the lies, you can find the truth, right? You just need to be non emotional and don't try to judge right away. Just listen to pastors, listen to priests, listen to everybody who claims to be a spiritual, holy people, Mormons, Jewish people, everybody. Just listen to them. You will get your answer if you don't get emotion and you don't get angry. Okay. You will have your answer. All you have to do is be calm, breathe, and let them talk. Okay. And within those words, you're going to find the truth. And mine, that was mind blowing at the time, years ago, was to fear God. Okay. But then in some verses said, God, being so lovely, lovable, mercy, will not deny nothing to his child, to his son. Okay. But then you have to worship me. Okay, hold it, hold it. I have my children. I have 5 children. Dad, I want this. Okay, if I can do it, I can give it to them. And then there's time for them to be on their knees with their eyes closed, praying to me. That's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, guys. Absolutely disgusting. I'm going to be talking about this until I die, right? I'm going to pass this knowledge to my kids. Okay. The best thing we can do is to not react with anger or hate. We need to let the enemies talk and let them think that they're winning by staying calm. Okay. And thinking that we're doing what they're asking, what they're telling people to do. Okay. So this is what I call religion leaders, that they love to hear that you are doing what they're being told to do, right? In other words, religious leaders, they love to tell you what to do. And sometimes it's a strategy that you can use. You can let them know that absolutely I would do that, but don't do it. Don't do it, right? Sometimes these leaders, any religion, they're so big with their ego. They're so big, and sometimes they're stupid, and they don't realize that they just want to hear, yes, yes, I believe in you. I believe in this, right? But just to get to the bottom of the truth. Whatever they're telling you to do, don't do it. Simple. Right? I think this is one of the best ways. I'm not going to say the only way that we're going to take this planet back from these vultures, right? And remember, all these people are puppets, okay? Don't get personal with the president, with the minister, with a religious leader. They're just puppets, okay? Just like we can be puppets too, okay? Just don't fear God. That's the pill. If there's such thing a pill, I'm just making it up metaphorically. That's the pill is going to take you back to your own authority, okay? When they tell you fear God, that means that you don't have to fear God. Okay, try it, and you will be amazed of the results. You're gonna start living a truth that our parents, grandparents never knew that it was. Okay, it's disgusting, guys, to be on your knees, praying with your eyes closed. It's disgusting, and that needs to stop. Take your authority back and start living like a human being, free and with power.